So, Man and the Wasp. You ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1.
See it.
Oh, yeah.
It was so good.
It's a see it from me because it is just as good as the first one, and all the things the first one did, I actually think this one did better. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I agree. Usually, I think second movies, I never go into a second movie and think it's going to be great.
Yeah.
But this was better than the first one. And we saw the first one a few months ago, like a month or two ago. And and Ant-Man is my favorite Marvel movie.
It's funny that you say that because there's quite a few people that I hear say that Ant-Man's one of their favorite Marvel films.
If we go into reasons why we like this movie, I put my favorite scene in the entire movie was the very first scene when the Wasp just kicked ass. And then the Ant-Man comes in and they do the duo and you start to see the connection of why they do so well together. Mm-hmm. That was that was one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
All right, so talking about things that we liked, I'll start. One of my favorite aspects of the Ant-Man films, 2 of them so far, is that I like how these are mission-type films and not end-of-the-world, we need to save the world type of films.
Yeah.
So Ant-Man, the first one is a heist film. They just need to steal something to keep it out of the hands of the bad guy. And that is the theme of the first film.
Right.
So when you look at the characters of the first film, the themes play into the characters. Darren Cross is trying to steal Hank Pym's technology. Paul Rudd steals from Hank Pym. Hank Pym and Paul Rudd need to steal from the bad guy. Stealing is the theme of that film. It's what drives the plot forward. Whereas with Ant-Man and the Wasp, it's a rescue film.
Right.
And all the themes of rescue play into the characters.
Right.
Ghost isn't really a villain. Ghost wants to be saved.
Okay.
She needs to be rescued.
Right. But was Ghost in the trailer? Because when she came on the screen, I was...
Yeah, she was in the trailer. She's been in the trailer
Okay.
since the first one. Scott Lang and Hank Pym need to rescue the wife. That's the crux of this film. It's a rescue mission to save Janet. The themes that play into the other characters is that Ghost is trying to save herself from being torn apart. Her power is phasing, as they reference it in this film. And if she doesn't get the technology that Hank has, that Hank is trying to use to save Janet, she's going to be torn apart by her phasing, which is not something that she wants to do. So when she can walk through walls and stuff, isn't something that she does just willy-nilly. It's something that has, because through not experimentation, but through an accident, she's been given this power, but this power is eventually going to kill her. And unless she gets the technology that Hank has, she's going to die. But Hank can't let her have that technology because if she gets it, they're not going to be able to save Janet.
Right.
So it's about a couple of characters trying to save something about themselves.
I think we really needed this type of superhero film because right after Avengers, if you've seen it, you're so shocked by the end. And then you have like a fun, playful superhero movie that's very different from Deadpool. It's very different from the Marvel franchise, Black Panther. It's very different from what we've been seeing. It's much calmer and it's fun.
I would say that this is Marvel's like family franchise. Mm-hmm. It's one parents can take their kids to.
Well, you should be able to take them to all of them, but you should be able to. They are Disney movies. I'm just saying, you should be able to.
They are, but like there's a lot of heavy themes in some of the other
but that goes over the kids' head. Like kids just want to see a cool superhero movie. We're the ones that analyze it as far as that nitty-gritty stuff.
All right, so other things that I liked was that I thought the action was great. The action was a big step up from the first film.
I really enjoyed Scott's friends. The same friends that were in the first one were still in the second one. And normally they don't do that. There's a lot of times
we were talking about it with Glow, where characters from the previous film carry over to the next.
Yeah. And it was nice to see that because sometimes in movies like this, they're just kind of gone and you don't know what happened. But they're kind of a crucial part of the story.
Yeah, they are. The first film, I think they might have had a little bit too much screen time. I felt like they might have been a little distracting. Where I felt like they might have like played on the comedy with those guys a little too much.
Yeah.
Whereas in this film, I felt like they were perfectly balanced. They were in the film. They had their moments to shine. The stuff that they did was funny. but I also liked it when Janet took control of Paul Rudd's with Scott Lang, and then it's Scott Lang as Janet. And like he looks over at Paul Rudd looks over at Michael Douglas, goes, "I've missed you so much." Stuff like that, which was
it was
great.
Really good.
It was really, really good.
It was a really fun movie.
One of the other things I liked, we were just talking about, the comedy is great in this. One of my favorite comedic bits was the card tricks that Paul Rudd's doing, and every time he does it, everyone's like, "How'd you do that?" I was like, "Teach me."
The detective was funny.
Oh,
I like when they
detective was
walked
so
in
good.
and he's like trying it and all the cards are going everywhere and he's like, "What do you need?"
He's watching like how to do magic tricks on the computer.
It was good. It was a well thought out film, and you know what? This explains exactly why he's not in Avengers, which I thought was needed. I was like, why isn't he in Avengers Infinity War? But it explains it. So you have to stay all the way to the end.
That thought that when spaceships landed in New York, that they might have gone to New York to try and help them. But when that spaceship lands in New York, it's in New York for like all of 5 minutes. Ant-Man never would have been able to cross the country from San Francisco to New York to help them fight in.
Oh, people still think he should have been there?
Yeah, but there's really not enough time. And then when the war in Wakanda happens...
There's so many superheroes in Avengers Infinity War. As much as I love Ant-Man, it was fine.
But when the war in Wakanda happens, you got to remember that the world doesn't know Wakanda exists. So that war in Wakanda is happening off the grid.
So how would Ant-Man find it?
So Ant-Man, there's no it's not a televised event. There is no news choppers. It's just the war of Wakanda is a very isolated event. So because no one knows that war of Wakanda is happening, there's no way that Ant-Man could actually physically be there.
And it kind of explains it in the film, and you have to watch it until the credits roll. You have to watch it till the end, especially if you're a big Marvel fan. Is the next Marvel movie going to be Captain Marvel?
Yep.
And is that coming out this year or next year?
Next year.
Okay. I was like, they need to hold
It's going to be
off.
similar to like Black Panther, Avengers. So next year is Captain Marvel. A couple months later, it's Avengers 4. A couple months later, it's Spider-Man 2. There's one more comedy thing that I liked a lot, and that was the miniature Scott in the school was amazing. Probably one of the funniest things I've seen in the movie this year.
Great.
I don't want to get too much into it.
Part.
It is hilarious. It was probably one of my favorite parts of the movie.
You're going to enjoy it. It's great.
Yeah, I don't want to go too much into it. I also loved Hope. We talked about this. Hope was one of my favorite characters in this film. I love that
she was amazing.
I love that she's probably the driving force of this film. She is really the superhero of this film, with Paul Rudd and Ant-Man being sort of like the side character.
Which is great to see a female superhero to that level.
But, all right, now to talk about some things that I didn't like. So this goes into some spoiler territory. So if you don't want to know anything about like screen time for certain characters, or what might, like some plot elements, you can tune out now. I'll just say thank you for watching. I'm going to do a 5-second countdown. We're going into a little tiny bit of a spoiler territory. So if you have seen it and you just want to continue watching, thank you.
Subscribe. Subscribe if you like
People will
us.
subscribe if they like us. We don't need to tell them to. People know how it works.
You told me to say
You're not
that.
stupid. You're great. All right, so countdown. Just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so a little spoiler territory.
Fine.
Janet, the mom, she's in this movie probably for all of 5 minutes. From all the trailers and the posters that I've seen, I thought she was going to be more of a main character. I thought that she was going to get out relatively early in the film and actually be a part of the battle against Ghost. But once I realized that the film was a rescue mission and she probably wasn't going to show up until the end, some of the marketing material almost felt a little insincere. But if you're going in expecting to see Hank Pym and Janet, the wife, fighting side by side, it doesn't happen. She never actually throws a fist. She never kicks anybody. She never even wears the Wasp suit outside of the opening sequence. It's kind of disappointing for me. I really like Michelle Pfeiffer. I think she's a great actress. I would have liked to have seen...
What other films is she in?
As far as...
I know I've seen her around, but
recently? Or like just big films she's been in?
Big films. Name one.
Batman Returns. She was Catwoman.
Never saw it.
She was in Stardust. She was the witch.
Oh, I did kind of like that movie.
Yeah, Stardust is great. So I was disappointed that Michelle Pfeiffer had all of like 5 minutes of screen time. She has a couple flashbacks where they do the de-aging technology with her before they go on their mission, before she disappears. So that aspect was disappointing. All right, and then the other thing that bothered me was that the first film established a set of rules with the Ant-Man suit that they blatantly break with this movie. It was a little jarring when it happened. So the thing with the Ant-Man suit is that what makes the shrinking and growing happen is that the helmet.
Yeah.
The body needs to be encased inside the suit at all times. In this one, there's times where Scott grows. I don't
remember this. You told me this, but I don't remember.
As part of the technology, that's why Darren Cross wasn't able to make the shrinking technology ever work, because he was trying to use it on subjects that weren't encased.
Oh, that's right. He doesn't have it when he's...
And so once he actually puts it in a box and he shrinks the box with the animal inside of the box, then it works.
I forgot about that. Okay.
So Paul Rudd, there's a couple scenes where Paul Rudd grows and shrinks and a helmet undoes itself and he's fine. Nothing happens to him. Whereas within the rules set in the first film, he would die. So the helmet being on along with the suit is what makes the shrinking and growing possible.
Gotcha.
So for comedic laughs, I guess it works, but they're blatantly just rewriting their own rules and retconning stuff that they set up in previous films.
Right.
Bothered me a little bit. Didn't ruin the film. It's still a massive hit for me. We're seeing it again today. But those were two of the things that bothered me with this film. I would like to see them stick a little bit more to like the rules they set up in previous films. And I know other people have had problems with other Marvel films.
Do you think seeing this again for the second time, do you think you're going to enjoy it more?
Don't know.
You don't know? That'll be interesting, because you have a tendency to sometimes see movies more, like second time, and you either really like it more, or you like kind of, I'm like, oh, it'll be interesting.
We'll see. Sometimes the movies that I like more the second time I watch it were movies that I'm kind of like meh on the first time we see it. And then for whatever reason, there's something about that film that ingrains itself in me, and then I feel like I have to go see it. But those are usually like, all of David Fincher films are like that with me. The Social Network was a film that we saw in theaters, and I thought it was okay. Movie. Yeah, but I didn't care for it too much the first time we saw it. And then I bought it on Blu-ray for some reason. And then I watched it like 3 weeks. Like 3 times in the first week that I had it. I just had it like on repeat. And I don't know why. I don't know what it was about the film. It didn't click with me the first time, but then I watched it again. It's like now one of my favorites. Same thing with Creed. I thought Creed was okay the first time we saw it. And now it's one of my favorite films. But with Ant-Man, I liked Ant-Man the first time, so it just might stay the same. Yeah. But I also think with comedies, repeat viewings, I think I need some breaks between my viewings
we don't
of
have
comedies.
To see it.
No. We can see it again. But because I know the comedy is coming, it's not as funny when I'm anticipating the comedy. So for comedies, I like to space out my comedies a little bit more so I forget the jokes. Yeah. So if I remember the jokes and I know the joke's coming, I'm going to play it in my head before it hits, and I'm not going to find it as funny. Whereas if I take a little bit of a break and then the joke surprises me again, the enjoyment will continue, will be on the same level as the first time I saw it.
You don't have to see it.
No, I want to see it again, but it's just a fun adventure film. It's really good.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
But anyways, we got to wrap it up. We ran really long on this one. We really liked Man and The Wasp. Can't recommend it enough. So if you want, go out, make up your own mind. If you saw it and thought it sucked and think we were wrong, go ahead, let us know. It's okay. Anyways, thank you for watching. Stay tuned. We got more coming. See you later. Thanks for watching.